I don't know what's happening. Hi, Patreon. So we're still in our goth attire, although today is November 1st. I hope you had a wonderful Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
We are officially out of spooky season.
Yeah, but it's the last spooky season episode, I guess you could say.
Yes.
That we're going to be giving you
closing
guys. We're closing it out with a good one. This one's
Yes.
creepy. Very creepy. And we're talking about the Uncanny Valley Effect.
Yes.
All right. So, Evie, start off strong.
All right. So the uncanny. Sorry. I'm already a little buzzed. All right. So the Uncanny Valley Effect. Why things look almost human and why it can be so creepy. So the I can't say that together. Uncanny Valley Effect is a psychological phenomenon where human-like figures that are almost, but not quite, realistic evoke feelings of discomfort, eeriness, or even fear in the observer. So the person that's observing this thing, this figure.
Yeah.
So this effect is most often experienced with robots, CGI, so computer-generated imagery, characters, dolls, and other humanoid creations that mimic real humans but fall short of like complete realism.
Yeah.
And then the closer the object or figure comes to looking human without being perfect, the more likely it's to trigger an eerie response.
Yeah.
And that is, I got that. I think we've mentioned this a lot in our episodes, but I think this is like my definition of the Uncanny Valley Effect of the, oh God, what's that Netflix show? Black
Mirror?
Black Mirror.
Yeah.
The episode that the
Black Mirror is
girl
amazing.
loses her husband in a car accident.
Fucking, I can't with that episode. I can't.
So she initially starts with text messages, and then it's so real to her.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know that,
I
right?
think it's gonna happen.
It's inevitable.
And I
with
think that's
AI.
what Black Mirror is. It's like almost like a little bit of like what's gonna happen in the future. I mean, have you seen what this guy is doing? Owner of Tesla, Elon Musk. Sorry, I don't even know how I forgot his name. Elon Musk. People are already putting down payments
For the robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It looks just like iRobot.
What in the actual F?
I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't mind having one doing my laundry, my dishes.
No,
the
I know,
cleaning,
but
the
this
thing.
is the age that we are at.
I know.
Like when we were younger,
I know.
we thought that we weren't going to be alive for this.
Oh, I know. And no.
We have cars that drive themselves. We have not even drive themselves because we know that there's cars that drive with us inside them.
Right. No,
But there are cars that there's no human inside.
Yeah.
Right. And then now robots doing our laundries and things like that. It's insane. But anyways, so
I mean, I'm down for it. Not now because I feel like right now there's going to be a lot of fucking error happening with those robots. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of error happening right now. That's not going to be fun.
Yeah.
Having a robot doing errors inside your house.
Creepy.
I mean, yeah, like if you wake up and it's just like looking over
like
you.
iRobot now, but I feel like in the future,
It's gonna look
maybe
like
it
whatever
already
you want.
exists. Maybe it already exists.
mean-
But yeah, so then it started off with text messages, and then it sounded so much like the text messages.
Yeah.
So then they're like, "Oh, upgrade," and then you'll get phone calls with his voice, right? And then she does that, and it sounds like she's having a conversation with him on the phone.
And she swears because the personality is there, all the things, the
Exactly.
memories.
The memories and everything is there. The way he used to talk, the way he used to joke.
So it kind of makes me, let's talk about this then. So how different is that then from actual reality then?
No, so it's not.
Right?
Right?
Because
that's the whole entire point.
your perception is your reality, right? So if you perceive as that person not really being dead anymore, then what's...
And that's when you get all mixed up, right? Which happens in the show. Because then she ends up upgrading to actually having a real avatar of him. And the skin feels like him. It looks like him. It talks like them. It walks like him and everything. And I was just like, so this is the Uncanny Valley Effect for me.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the episode, I was like, this is so creepy.
It's super creepy, but then if you think about it in a psychological and even a philosophical manner, right? Which we're just gonna take 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes to bring this out. I gotta get this out. So talking about exactly that, right? So from a third person party perspective, right? You look at that and you're like, no, she needs to heal. That person is no longer here. That person doesn't exist anymore. She's living, in a false narrative. She's not living real life. who are you really to say that though?
Yeah.
Because if you're that person, you know, her,
Yeah.
the wife in this aspect, your perception is your reality.
Yeah.
Period. I don't, you know, however distorted it may be or not, it is that.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
then we go into more ethics,
Right.
right? Like, are we really letting you mourn? That's almost
You're
the
not.
same.
You're not.
Oh man, I was gonna say something really dark. I'm not gonna say it. So it's just, yeah.
I mean, you're not mourning.
Yeah, no, you're not.
You're
You
not.
just
That person,
continue-
you just
Swap them out
created-
for someone similar
But
or identical.
or identical. But then
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, then you didn't really lose that person in your mind and you perceive as this person still being there.
Yeah.
So that is not your reality. So is that really, then you go into the philosophy of that. Is that really wrong?
Yeah. So weird.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And, you know, yes, to some people that is 100% wrong because that person is no longer
Exactly.
a person.
A person is no longer a person.
That person's not here, you know, and all that. But I'm like, dude, if that robot you could go on vacations with that robot, you could create new memories with that robot, you could do all those things with that robot. That robot literally replaces that person that passed.
Yeah.
Literally, in every sense of the word, replaces it. So
Yeah.
did you really lose him?
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man. That's weird.
You could go down that rabbit
I'm
hole.
already having this sleepy feeling. I am literally living the effect as we speak.
And as like the person writing your own will, maybe that's something that could happen in the future. Maybe you could write in your own will that you want that for the person, you know, staying behind, for them to have this replacement of you.
I'm just gonna stick to them doing my laundry now. Okay, so that's gonna be what I tolerate for now.
I mean, that'd be a great novel or show or something like that. You
But
know?
what about fights?
Yeah, I mean, you're fighting with that consciousness that's been like software downloads.
I don't know.
you
I can't. I don't know. That's just like
Have you
so
talked to
creepy.
ChatGPT?
No, I have. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You could easily have a fight with it.
No, I know.
So that's what I'm saying.
So insane how like we can fight with AI.
You can. If you tell it to do something, it will do it. And you're like, oh, pretend that you are fucking Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
You impersonate Henry Cavill in this conversation with me, and it will.
It's so weird. It's so trippy.
So that's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's something to, you know, that you could really think about. Anyway,
All right.
go
so,
ahead.
Do you want to talk about the history of it?
Sure. All right. So the Uncanny Valley Effect. So it was first coined by Japanese roboticist Masahiro Mori in 1970, and the term describes the valley, so quote unquote, of emotional reaction people have when presented with nearly human-like objects. Mori's research demonstrated that as robots or characters become more human-like, our emotional connection to them increases up to a certain point. So beyond this point, if the object isn't quite realistic enough, our reaction plummets, landing in the so-called quote-unquote uncanny valley effect. So what is it, right? So to break it down, the uncanny valley effect happens when something looks human, but not exactly. So kind of like, you know, the first thing that this reminds me of is like those animatronics in like Disney or whatever, that they're supposed to look human.
Yeah.
At least like Pirates of the Caribbean that needs an update.
Yeah. And I offer.
And you're like, that doesn't look right and I'm not comfortable with it, you know? So that triggers an emotional response of discomfort. So it's most common when you encounter things that, bless you.
Excuse me.
It's most, bless you. It's most common. I'm back. Yeah. So it's most common when you encounter things that are supposed to mimic people, like robots, hyper-realistic mannequins, CGI characters in movies, or even prosthetics that are incredibly lifelike but slightly off in some little tiny way.
I have so many things in my mind right now. Like,
Yeah. Same. And because it's true. Even with prosthetics, you're like,
yeah.
sometimes when it's too much, like I
Yeah.
kind of rather like a very obvious prosthetic
Yeah.
versus one that's trying to mimic
Yeah.
too much. That one, like the latter one, kind of makes me feel like a little like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just uncomfortable at some point. No offense to anyone. Like you do you, but
Yeah.
like it's just talking about this effect that kind of gets triggered. So anyway, at first glance, the humanoid figures might seem fine, but the closer you look, the more unsettling they become. Maybe the eyes are a bit too shiny or the skin's a little too smooth. That's it for me, like the
Yeah.
skin texture. or the movements are stiff and mechanical.
Yes.
These subtle imperfections create a psychological disconnect because you're,
The eyes.
yeah, it's like that lizard brain inside of you is like, something's wrong there.
Yeah,
This is
like-
not.
Like if I had an avatar, right, or a robot, whatever you want to call it, or AI, something.
AI and no robot. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So just, looking at me, like how
Oh, what if you're sleeping and then you wake up and
it's
and the foot of
staring
your
at
bed?
you. Yeah. Like how do I know what it's thinking? Because the thing is that AI goes based on a collection of information, right? So as you react, as you talk to it, as it goes like every single day, it's learning more information,
Right.
becoming more realistic.
Right.
It's creepy.
Yeah. But I mean,
Creepy.
technically, until it becomes self-aware,
I'd be so freaked out. I'd just be like, reboot.
erase. You're gonna erase all of this that I learned. Yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
want you
shut
back.
you down for a couple of days, okay?
I want you back to basics.
Yeah, exactly.
I want you to resemble a cucumber right now.
I want you to be a piece of lettuce. Okay.
Don't remember anything. Don't
Yes.
remember any
A
of it.
piece
That's
of
fine.
burnt toast.
Totally fine. So anyway, so those subtle imperfections create this psychological disconnect. So our brain starts signaling that something isn't quite right, which leads to that feeling of like that creepiness, I mean, think of it like watching a puppet show, which I freaking hate.
Another thing I hate.
Hate puppets. I was never a fan of Pinocchio. Like,
Me neither.
yeah.
Me neither.
It's like,
and
what
I
the fuck
still
is that?
don't like it. I still
Like,
don't
what
like
is that? Look, I got goosebumps. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Why? Like, who? I don't know. Anyway, so the puppets aren't real and you don't expect them to be. But however, you saw a puppet that looked a little real and it didn't quite move or speak like one, and it feels eerie and unsettling. And that's exactly the Uncanny Valley effect. And it's like the dolls. Like the dolls. Like the baby dolls. Oh my God. The dolls, like the like the oh my God, there's a name for them, dude. The dolls that look hyper, like the baby ones. The ones that look
hyper like a baby.
like they literally do. And sometimes like on TikTok, I hate it when that happens to me. I fall for it every fucking time. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm carrying a baby. And then they just like pop off the head. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And it was like,
I've never seen that.
my TikTok's fucked up.
But there are dolls that look very real, and there's been documentaries on people that get these babies and they change their clothes every day and they feed them every day and they get babysitters for them and they truly treat them like a real baby.
And there's a whole show. For some reason, it didn't get too popular, but it's by M. Night Shyamalan in Apple TV. It's called Servant. Great fucking show, and it's exactly about that.
Yeah.
He loses the baby, and then she substitutes the baby with one of these like hyper realistic dolls. But the doll, like, there's like a paranormal situation there with a babysitter.
Okay.
And yeah, it's all of that. But it's just like when I saw the doll, I'm like, oh. And then you add the kid factor to it, even creepier for me. Because everything with a kid factor into it is even worse for me. Absolutely not. So, all right, Evie. So talk about why does this happen psychologically?
so
let's bring it to the medicine.
Yeah, exactly. So several psychological theories attempt to explain why the uncanny valley effect happens. Here are some of the theories. So perception of threat is the first one. So evolutionarily,
It's that lizard brain that I was talking about.
Humans have been trained to detect threats in their environment. So especially when it comes to recognizing other humans, right? And then when something looks human but has small discrepancies, such as unnatural movements or facial expressions, then the brain might perceive it as a potential threat. We've evolved to notice when something is off because those differences could indicate danger, such as disease, death, deception, more of like the deception.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You imagine
danger.
like something is like weird and it's like, oh, right, like you're an alien.
Oh. Yeah.
Then the survival instinct is still
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty active, and then you deal with it however your survival instincts want to deal with it, right?
Get the fuck out.
So another one is cognitive
Dissonance.
dissonance. Cognitive dissonance.
Why am I getting the words? The goth makeup is helping me say words correctly today.
I don't know.
What's happening here?
So cognitive dissonance. So the theory suggests that our brain experiences a form of confusion or discomfort when trying to process something that appears human but isn't. So we are wired to recognize faces and human-like movements with incredible precision. When these elements don't match our expectations, it creates conflict in our brain. So we want to categorize the object as human, but something tells us that it isn't, which causes like a really uneasy feeling. And it's as if like our brain is struggling to resolve the mismatch between expectations and reality, and this results in discomfort.
Yeah.
Violation of expectation. So our minds are conditioned to expect certain things from human faces and bodies, like symmetry, proportion, natural movements, and emotions that correspond with facial expressions. When these expectations are violated, even in subtle ways, we feel something is wrong. So this is especially true with lifelike robots or CGI characters, where the smallest inconsistencies, facial movements, eye blinks, gestures can create a jarring effect. I'm not sure if it like relates completely, but I think I can relate to it in the sense that, okay, this book that I'm reading right now, right? So I do the audiobook.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And then the first two books is this author.
Okay.
Or the narrator, I should say.
Sarah Maas, I think it was.
So Sarah Maas is the author, but it's a different person narrating the book.
Oh, okay. I understand.
So whatever. But I created this character in my head associated with that voice, right? So in the third book, they changed the narrator.
That's fucked up, though.
I had to pass like 8 chapters before I finally, it was so distracting. I was like, this isn't the character.
Yeah.
This isn't the character.
Dang.
And I would try to like, like
you
get
see how
past
the
it.
brain does that?
And I'm like, this isn't the character. This is a false character. And it took me like multiple chapters for me to get over it.
Right.
Right. And then now I'm like enjoying it like fine. Like it's almost like you forget.
Exactly.
But
dang. Okay, so now I know what to expect because that's gonna happen to me.
Yeah. No. And so I read the reviews. Right. And it's not that no one likes the new author,
but it's just a change.
But it's the change, just the minimal change in the voice, because you have this like character, multiple characters, right? Because she voices multiple characters.
Yeah.
So you have this like change, but like everyone in the comments, it's like change of narrator, change of narrator, change of narrator. It's a crazy effect when you change something that you are like, it just doesn't
kind to
exactly. So now I'm like thinking like in relation to this, it's like if I'm able to get so bothered by that, imagine a CGI like
I agree.
It's so crazy like how precise we are and we don't even know it.
I know how much attention to detail we actually have, and we don't
even know it.
We don't even realize it.
Yeah
Until it's like really in our faces. The last one.
And then the last one is evolutionary theory. So another theory is rooted in evolutionary biology, which I totally believe in.
I agree.
Like evolutionary biology, suggesting that early humans might have developed an aversion to things that looked human but weren't, as a way to avoid disease or dead bodies.
Totally makes sense.
In other words, we might have evolved to find things that don't appear fully healthy or alive, like corpses or those afflicted with illness, disturbing. So this instinct could still be active today when we encounter humanoid robots and figures that look almost real but lack the vitality of like a living person.
Exactly.
It's like you look real,
but
you look empty.
Exactly. You look like you're living, but you're not living.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like those people that you see, like serial killers are a really good example of it. When you're like, you're dead behind the eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
That for sure.
And I'm a total believer in evolutionary biology.
Oh, 100%.
That our brains are rooted from way back.
It's instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course. It's there for a reason.
Especially it sounds crazy, but like especially for moms.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We could like, that's a whole big.
We can dive into a whole entire topic.
Massive. Just smells.
Yeah.
Like
exactly. It's just
like there's
crazy.
So many, but like smells is the first thing that comes into mind. It's like it's so heightened. It's like why? And it's exactly for that, because you got to protect, like when you're pregnant, you got to protect the fetus, and then when you're not pregnant, you're with a newborn, you're protecting a newborn, and it's just like there's so much into that. I like super much of a very much a believer in that. Anyway, so the concept predates Maury's formal description of the uncanny valley effect. So the term uncanny itself, meaning something familiar yet strange, was explored by Sigmund Freud in his 1919 essay. I'm going to try here, I'm not German, obviously. Das Himmlisch.
I'm not even gonna say.
In other words, in English, the uncanny.
Yeah.
So
I will stick to the English version.
yeah,
Before everyone thinks I'm an idiot trying to read.
I'm an idiot and I tried. So that was my best. So that was my best try. Anyway, so Freud discussed how things that are familiar to us but presented in an unfamiliar way can create fear or discomfort. So for example, an object that resembles a human figure but doesn't behave as you would actually expect a human to behave, like a mannequin, can evoke this eerie feeling. And it's true. There's some mannequins out there that I just like, I don't fuck with. It's just weird. Just do the ones without the head or that are just like plain. Like don't add eyes to it. Don't overdo it. Like there's no need for that, in my opinion. Anyway, so Maury's 1970 paper brought the concept into the realm of robotics and technology. In his original graph, Maury showed that people's comfort level increases as robots become more human-like until they reach a point where they are too human. At this point, a sharp dip occurs in the graph, representing the valley of discomfort or eeriness. Beyond this valley, if robots or figures achieve true human realism, comfort levels rise again. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So it's like if you look truly like a flat out human, but you know that it's not, it's like a robot, you're okay with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So this uncanny valley effect has since been widely studied in psychology, computer science, and even art and design.
So now, though, like, let's just say, okay, sorry, Patreon. This is, you're going to have to deal with me in this episode and our own theories, right? So now, okay, like we're talking about evolutionary biology, right? So let's just say now, like the world starts with CGIs, AI, and everything like that.
Yeah.
What's to say that in many, many years down the road, we won't even be able to tell the difference?
Yeah, we probably won't.
Yeah, exactly.
We probably won't.
I can't.
We probably won't. We'll be walking down the street. Somebody's walking their dog, and it's not
and humans.
Yeah,
and
just
anything else that exists
commingling.
at that time is commingling.
commingling. You won't know. Yeah, there's some shows on that. There's definitely some shows on that. I think I saw one. Well,
No, but
oh,
like,
good one.
But
Oh,
what I
a
think
good
is
one
that, like,
is
some of those shows is like, you know that you're a robot and you know that you're a human.
Oh yeah.
But like I'm saying, like evolutionary wise, what happens if we lose the ability of the uncanny effect?
Right. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. There was a really big show, and I wonder if it's gonna come back on HBO.
Oh my God! What just got Westworld?
Westworld.
Yeah,
That's exactly
I
it.
never got into it.
That's
But
exactly
yes,
it.
Yeah,
They're absolutely human.
yeah. Or the other. Well,
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
Alien movies, the alien movies, like there's always a humanoid
Yes.
like robot within
yes,
the team.
Yes.
I love those movies. Anyways, so as technology advanced, the uncanny valley effect became particularly relevant with development of highly realistic CGI in movies and lifelike robots. So in the early 2000s, animated films like Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within, and The Polar Express faced criticism because the human characters, despite being incredibly detailed, made audiences feel uncomfortable. So the movements and expressions weren't quite right, and that was like the landing of the character squarely like landed in the uncanny valley effect. So, and that's true. That's why we got, at least for right now, until technology advances to that level, like it's either that it's a CGI movie,
Yeah.
or it's a real acting movie.
There was this movie, there was a show, and I think it was on Amazon Prime, and it was about a girl. I can't remember the name of it. I finished it all the way till the end. It was an amazing show. I can't believe they didn't bring it back for another season.
I hate it when they do that.
I know, but it was a girl that was like really good at gaming,
Okay.
right? And then so they invented, right? There's an alternate universe that's accessed through the gaming system, right?
Okay.
So they put on this like head.
That's something that I see happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Also.
For sure. There's like a head, I mean, it's already happening, metaverse, right? So it's like they put on this headpiece and she turns into this character, right? Like
So, her avatar.
her avatar, exactly, her own avatar. And then, but there's literally a whole entire thing going on in this alternate universe, right?
Yeah.
So then her brother's friend that's like a paraplegic goes into the game and then he has full body function.
Like in the movie Avatar.
Yeah, exactly like that. And
Yeah.
then he's like, no, like I want to just
Stay
stay
here.
here.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
It's
Why wouldn't you?
exactly what happened in the movie Avatar.
I'm
He
sorry.
just
Yeah,
like transferred his consciousness to it.
exactly.
Yeah.
So crazy.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's do a little bit of like examples of the uncanny valley effect. The uncanny valley effect can be observed in various settings, particularly with rapid development of AI, robotics, computer generated imagery. And then here are just a couple of examples that we're going to be talking about. So one, CGI characters in movies. So films like The Polar Express, Harry Potter, like all these things are frequently cited as examples of the uncanny valley effect. So the film's characters, while visually stunning, are unsettling to many viewers. The animation technology at the time made characters look too close to human, but with odd movements and stiff facial expressions, triggering discomfort. So that's a little bit different from Harry Potter, because like Polar Express is like CGI.
The whole movie.
The whole movie, exactly.
And that's what we're talking about. Like,
exactly. Yeah, not like Harry Potter, because those are actual actors.
yeah.
Yes.
So you could kind of like, you know, maneuver your way through that. But it's like those movies that are made
Through the whole thing, yeah. And then robots, like the actual movie robots. So humanoid robots like Sophia, the AI robot developed by Hanson Robotics, often evoke mixed reactions. So while Sophia has impressively human-like expressions, then something about her that doesn't quite feel right to many people. So the slight unnaturalness in her speech patterns or eye movements can be a little like off-putting.
Yeah.
Dolls and mannequins. I haven't seen this movie, but many people experience it.
No, it's not a movie. Just dolls. And
I did. Sorry, we're listing movies, but now we're not. I was like, I've never seen this movie. Okay, no, but seriously, dolls and mannequins. That is creepy, though.
I literally told you that. Like these dolls, or even the baby dolls.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Even
for
just
me.
regular mannequins.
Not for me.
They're just like I don't.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Just have the ones without the heads, or the ones that are just obvious mannequins.
Yeah.
You know, don't give me the hair, the eyes. Just don't do the eyes. Yeah, I feel like the eyes are like
they're weird. Yeah. So a lot of people experience the uncanny valley effect with lifelike dolls or mannequins, and then the problem is that these objects appear way too human. And then of course, like they lack the emotions or the movements, which can lead to feelings of like weirdness and eeriness. Yeah. But the movie Child's Play,
I hate the Chucky movies, bro.
I hate.
I can't. I'm not into it. I love horror movies. I love spooky movies. I'm all about that shit, but I cannot deal with Chucky.
Yeah, me neither.
Not about it.
And then prosthetics. So realistic prosthetic limbs or masks can closely resemble human skin.
Hate that too.
I hate it, but I mean, what about the person wearing the prosthetic though?
Like, no. I'm talking about like in Halloween. No, I'm not talking about prosthetics at all. I'm sorry if that didn't sound correctly. I'm talking about like Halloween when people wear like human,
like makeup.
Like human masks or whatever. Like when they're imitating somebody, like
mostly like C for Vendetta.
Not even like political figures or whatever. It's an actual face.
Yeah, it is
on a face.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Okay.
Not about that. The political figures, I don't know.
It's a little weird.
And because then you have the cutout of the eyes.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, that to me is creepier than like a fucking Grim Reaper costume or some bullshit.
Not La Llorona at
nope.
5 in the morning.
Don't come to me with a fucking Clinton mask.
Trump, yeah.
Don't do that. No, not here for it. Come to me with Scream. I'm here for it. And but if you guys are on TikTok, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But
go down that TikTok rabbit hole.
There's too many rabbit holes. There's too many of them.
But
keep up.
Coming at me with like some Clinton mask, what have you, whoever you want.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely not. Go away with that. Not about it.
Yeah. So while these devices are medically beneficial.
Yeah, prosthetics make sense.
Yeah. Then the eeriness arises when people when they appear human but behave differently. Like they just don't maybe like move like
it's not what you expect
or something, or a prosthetic would.
Yeah.
But those, I feel like that to me is not creepy. Like that to me is incredible.
Yeah. That to me is not. I understand.
Like there's people that have prosthetic faces and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I know. And that changes your life. Yeah. That is totally understandable. I'm talking about jackasses with their fucking like, but no, prosthetics, like that makes sense. But I understand how there could be a level of uncanny valley effect on somebody that wasn't expecting to see a prosthetic and then they realize that it's a prosthetic because of like a slight deviation in like the skin texture or the movement or something. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, that's not, you know? And then you're like, oh, okay, well, then you put reason into it and you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know,
Yeah.
then it triggers that like instinctual shit in your mind.
Yeah. And I feel like everything else like plays a role and everything. Like if you're talking to a person and they're like, well, like, I don't know. And then like all of a sudden you realize they have like a prosthetic and you're like, I don't know, you know,
Exactly.
it is a little bit of a feeling that you're like,
It kicks in. It's just instinctual. It's
yeah,
not anything.
It's not judging.
No, it's not.
It's
It's,
just
just
instinct.
literally your lizard brain acting
Yeah.
up, you know? So I think that's where
Interesting.
it gets activated there.
Yeah.
So when did it become popular? So while Moriarty's work laid the foundation in 1970, the concept of uncanny valley didn't gain widespread attention until the early 2000s. With the rise of hyper-realistic CGI movies, the uncanny valley effect became a hot topic, especially like just how I look like right now, from Hot Topic. I swear I should have worn like a graphic tee or something, and that would have been perfect. Yeah. Especially as people started noticing how certain animated characters felt unsettling. As robotics advanced, the phenomenon also started appearing in discussions about human-robot interaction. So in recent years, as AI, virtual reality, and augmented reality technologies have developed, the uncanny valley effect has become even more relevant. So designers, animators, and engineers are now more aware of the risks of creating objects that fall into the uncanny valley effect, which can distract from user experiences or audience immersion. So I feel like I did a VR experience of this video game in Texas, and Mario and I became obsessed. Like we went there every weekend that we went to Austin, we were there every morning. It was horrible, but it was awesome. And I'm glad that I haven't found one here in Miami because I'd probably become a member. Anyway, so they like suit you up into all this stuff and you are in the game.
Yeah.
Your movements, you could run, you could shoot, you could jump, everything. You are in the game in this VR experience. And I feel like they kept it looking more like animated on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, for that, because the technology is there,
Yeah,
you know, to make it look hyper realistic. But I feel like they kept it more into like the animated type of like situation to make it not fall into this effect. It's crazy.
So creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the negatives.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's
so how
definitely.
can this be a little bit dangerous? All right. So one, rejection of assistive technologies. So in healthcare, robotics is being used to assist elderly patients provide care, even act as companions. And if these robots fall into the uncanny valley, then patients may reject them, which could hinder their ability to benefit from advanced care technologies. So, but I feel like that's blurs the lines of ethics a little bit. But then I think this is just what I think about. I think about volunteers.
Yeah.
Right? So people volunteer to spend time with caregivers and things like that. So why can't there be
You
a
can, but
robot?
yeah, exactly.
That's
Why
what I'm
not?
saying, why not?
Yeah.
You know, I think about like volunteers, like let's just say me because I'm a pediatrician in the NICU. Like we have volunteers that literally just come to hold babies that don't have a parent or something like that are in the NICU for months at a time. And then it's like, what if there are now like robots that can provide that comfort or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, just that attention.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My brain is like everywhere in this episode. All right. So that impacts on mental health. This is where I'm like, yeah, this is like blurring the lines of like just reality versus not. And
But again,
I guess maybe everyone should just leave it up to their own judgment and option.
I think
don't
it's
know,
your
like everything
choice
else in
at the
life
end
is
of the-
just choice. Yeah. So for people who already have anxiety disorders, particularly those with heightened sensitivity to visual stimuli, the uncanny effect can exacerbate a lot of these feelings or even some panic. It is especially important when dealing with vulnerable populations like children or the elderly who may be more sensitive to such experiences, which is literally what I just mentioned.
exactly.
But I said it more in a positive light.
Yeah.
I'm like, or even not. I could see it though. Like I could see the positives and I can see the negatives of it.
There's two sides to every coin.
Yeah. It's just ethics. I feel like at the end of the day,
And it's choice, because there may be an elderly patient that's totally chill about
literally
it,
like
doesn't care.
ethics and choice.
Exactly. I could definitely see like personalities have something to do with that. There could definitely be like an elderly like person doesn't give a crap. Cool, yeah, this thing will help me do whatever, you know. And then there's the other one of like, get that thing away from me.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It's all choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social isolation. This I feel like could definitely
Oh,
be
big
a big
time.
one. So
Big time.
if assistive or companion robots fall into the Uncanny Valley effect, then they could lead to social isolation rather than improve social engagement. So people may avoid interacting with these robots if they find them like unsettling. So which defeats the purpose of providing companionship and social support and through technology. I also feel like it could do the opposite too, like remove you from social because you just want to.
It could
Your robot is so perfect; it's like everything that you.
100%.
So phobias and anxieties. So some individuals may develop specific phobias related to humanoid figures, particularly those that evoke the uncanny valley effect. In extreme cases, repeated exposure to these unsettling images or objects could contribute to heightened anxiety and emotional distress. I feel like that would be me. That's what, you know.
If you're already going through that right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like if someone made the bed, I'd be like, who made the bed? And it was just the robot like looking at me from the corner of the room. And I'm just gonna be like, fuck, stop doing that.
You wanted to do that. That's why you have the
And I'm
robot.
gonna be like, I asked you to clean the room, not make the bed.
It's like, but this falls under cleaning the room.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just gonna be like, tone it down to like a 20%. I don't know. That would definitely. I would for sure be creeped out the entire time.
No, I would love it. I would love it. I'd be the first one. I already told Mario, I'm like, as soon as they become like affordable in like 20 years from now, this is perfect timing because by the time that we become elderly, they will become more affordable and more mainstream. So no need for like, you know, MR. I need you to
more
come.
like let's get a robotic pet.
Well, that's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
You know that's
Imagine a
coming.
dog that doesn't shit, that doesn't pee on anything.
I know, but it could still provide you the, you know,
The comfort.
the comfort of a pet.
I mean, that is genius. Don't take my idea.
TM.
Yeah.
Although for an idea that's been like on multiple
Yeah, I know.
movies.
It's literally toys for kids that are robots.
Elon, contact us. We have
Yeah.
some ideas for you.
Yeah.
Just fucking imagine. I meet Elon. I'm gonna shit myself.
He's weird.
That's why. But he's weird in like ways that I want to like.
I feel like you would be interesting to have a conversation.
I would love to have a conversation with him. Yes, he has a lot of things. I get it. There's a lot of problems.
There's a lot of problems that I'm like, I don't want to have a dinner with you.
No. I'm talking about a drink.
Not even.
I do. I want to. I'm weird like that. That I don't care about like your like. I'm not gonna. Let's just have a drink. And even if I disagree with you on many things, that's fine. But I just want to hear how your brain works. I just want to experience like his thought process and how
I just feel like he's the face of things. I feel like there's other people in his team that I would want to talk to.
100%. And he's smart enough to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
To hire those people.
He has
find
the
those
money
people.
to find those people. Yeah.
of
His
course.
team are the people that I want to meet. Him, I'll do it another day.
I would like to tinker with that brain for a little bit. Anyway, okay, so yeah, all right. So the good news is that researchers and designers are actively working on avoiding the uncanny valley effect. One approach is to create human-like objects or robots that are perfectly realistic, thereby bypassing the valley altogether. But on the other hand,
That's gonna extremely
Yeah.
It's gonna widen the valley.
that's going to be like in that HBO series, Westworld, that you can't tell that they, you know, so they're perfectly like humanoid. But anyway, but in the other hand, of the other end of the spectrum, some designers intentionally opt for less realistic designs, like I was talking about in that video game, embracing the artificial aspects of robots and avoiding any attempt at human imitation. Yeah. So, which I'm okay with. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. So, for example, robots like Wall-E. I fucking love Wall-E.
Really, that's what I'm saying.
Or
Wall-E could do my bed. I like the description of the uncanny valley.
You really are. You really are. I didn't know that. Yeah. I love this. From Pixar or R2-D2 from Star Wars. I love R2-D2 too. I love that. Anyway, when we went to
C-3PO, I'd love a C-3PO.
But see, he's never annoyed.
He and I would, but he's like clearly a robot. Like he and I would have, have great anxiety together. Just about everything. I'm screaming now. Exactly. I would love a secret deal.
Oh my God. Anyway, so that they don't try to mimic human features, which makes them endearing.
Yeah.
As literally we were saying right now, rather than creepy.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, the uncanny valley effect is it's really fascinating, honestly. It's an intersection of psychology, evolution, and technology. It taps into our deep-rooted instincts for recognizing human faces, movements, and even emotions. And those expectations are violated even in subtle ways. That's when we encounter that discomfort in the uncanny valley effect. And that just, okay, yeah. As technology continues to advance from lifelike CGI characters to humanoid robots and prosthetics, understanding and navigating the uncanny valley effect becomes crucial for developers, filmmakers, and even healthcare providers. So the uncanny valley effect also raises important ethical and social questions, like we have been talking about this whole freaking time. How far should we push the boundaries of realism in robotics and artificial intelligence? Can we design human-like figures that can avoid this unsettling effect, or should we embrace it or just be more abstract with designs and bypass it altogether? Like, where should we go? Where in the spectrum should we land? And what impact can this phenomenon have on the future of human robot interactions, especially in fields like medicine, where comfort and trust are incredibly important?
Yeah.
So
That's the uncanny valley effect.
yeah, it's a lot to
Eerie.
ponder, and it's eerie and
Eerie AF.
interesting. And we know now that Evie has that real hard. But anyway,
I want a Wally. I just don't want.
I know I fucking love Wally or an Eva.
Who's Eva?
His best friend and Wally.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Her name is Eva.
She floats too and everything. She's so cute. I love her that she's just like, don't touch me.
Yeah, I know. I just love her because she just hears a noise and she like laser beams everything and explodes everything.
She's like,
Badass.
yeah, she is a badass. She's like the
And
opposite.
Wally's like, I love you. I love you.
I love that fucking movie. Anyway, thank you, Patreon, for tuning in. You guys are the backbone, the MVPs. We thank you. And we hope you guys liked this episode. If you guys have any other like suggestions or whatever, let us know. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.